everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Dinner Plus Drinks podcast. I'm very excited for this week's episode. There's a surprise.
Are we excited every week?
There's a surprise segment from Bridget, which
Yes.
I am like so excited.
I don't think you're going to care for it.
I don't care. I'm just excited that there's a surprise segment.
I am excited to talk about it.
So let's get into it.
Let's dive in because that's not
There's some
end.
big topics that we want to talk about.
Really important things.
First of all, Inauguration.
Inauguration
Woo!
Day. I saw so many people talk about how they just feel like a weight has been lifted. And I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. But actually, like, Wednesday felt the most, like,
I agree.
freeing. It was just kind of like, oh, this is like a happy day again.
So I felt a little vindicated because I've always tried to be like, look, having this cloud of like constant, what did Trump do? What did Trump do? What did Trump do?
How embarrassing does our country look right now?
Like, it just is always this thing on your head, and you don't have to worry about that anymore. And I think even for a lot of people that supported a lot of Donald Trump's policies and voted for him, they're like, I still was embarrassed of the crap he did every day, and I just wanted it to stop. So it stopped. It's great. Nobody got shot.
That was a concern.
I loved all of the female fashion. I almost made it my news story. But
good thing you didn't.
Going from Melania's like very smart outfit leaving DC, and then her Florida dress.
Terrible.
I thought she should have maybe kept it toned down a little bit, but it was a beautiful dress.
Have you seen the meme of the Melania when she's in Florida in the terrible dress? In my opinion, you like it? I think it's terrible.
I liked it.
She's just like walks away from him.
Yes.
And they're whatever
like,
the meme is. Yeah, it was hilarious. I was like, oh. There
all
wasn't
the
a lot
females
of,
up on the podium, like all the color.
Hey, Nick, we're going to talk more about this later.
Oh, okay, I'll stop talking about
Spoiler alert.
We're going to talk more about the inaugural poet later, too.
I was like, wait, the poet. Can we please
We're going to talk more about her, because I was like, whoa,
is that your
girl.
news story?
That's my news story.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it was just fun. I liked what Biden was talking about. I thought it was really cool how him and the previous presidents all went to Arlington to do the wreath laying.
Yep.
Nobody's done that before. I hope that becomes part of the inaugural traditions.
I thought it was interesting to me how they handled it COVID-wise. I thought that the like replacement of the inaugural ball was a little weird.
It was a little weird.
Like the whole like stand in this light up circle and speak was weird.
I liked Roy Blunt and Amy Klobuchar as
Amy Klobuchar was awesome.
Yeah, as the chairs. I thought they did a really great job of being happy for Joe Biden, being happy for America, being friendly.
Yeah, funny.
It was so nice to see. Like Roy Blunt making jokes about I can't remember what it was. He made some joke that was like very against the Republican Party. Yeah, that was like really funny.
Right,
and he was laughing about it. He wasn't, he was.
It was funny.
So it was nice to see. Yes, it was just
happy.
And if you couldn't be happy for Joe Biden, who has worked his entire life for this and done a lot, and whatever you want to say about if you agree with his policies or not, like he was so happy. And like if you can't be happy for someone that's worked that hard for something for one day, just for one day to say, you know what? You worked hard. You got it. Good luck. I'm happy for you.
Okay, a couple notable things. My sister and I were discussing how actually like this was a pretty impressive Joe Biden speech because sometimes when he talks, you're like, oh.
And it was cold, so it's easy to slur your words.
And we really thought that he must have employed one of Obama's old speechwriters. Were we talking about this? We're like, this sounds like an Obama speech. So that's one thing. If you know, let us know. I have not looked it up. Secondly, did you hear about the Secret Service code name for Kamala?
No.
It's Pioneer, which is so cool. That. So like, obviously that was chosen for a reason. There was a lot, and we'll talk about inauguration fashion again, but there was a lot of discussion.
So is this a surprise segment that you think I didn't like? Oh, I'm all over it.
Sure is. There was a lot of discussion about the color purple and why it was worn and things. So anyway, lots of great symbolism. I always love that. And when you don't have inaugural gowns to talk about, I think it left all the really cool jackets to talk about.
Next thing, hashtag Go Pack Go. We're going to open some Leap Premium Vodka made by Leroy. Don't call him Leroy. Leroy Butler, originator of the Lambo Leap. And we came up with a drink called the Green and Yellow after the Lil Wayne song, who Lil Wayne is no longer a federal criminal.
He also updated the song, right?
Yes,
yeah.
He did.
So we're drinking this because if you live under a rock, there's some big football games going on. Or if you are my cousins listening who live in Illinois and you're Bears fans, I'm sorry.
So this is very simply some Leap vodka. It's handcrafted. It's 40% alcohol.
I know nothing about this vodka.
It's gluten-free. There's no sugar. There's no carbohydrates.
Mm-hmm. We're going to mix it with some lime bubbly.
On December 26th, 1993, Leroy Butler scored his first professional touchdown. When he leaped into the stands to share the moment, a new end zone celebration was born. This should have been worded a little differently. Whether you play the game or watch the game, sometimes you want to celebrate like you scored.
Oh, boy. So if you're celebrating this weekend...
This is not good. I shouldn't have read that description. This is really... but it's actually, I'm told, there's a local Lake Geneva person, veterinarian type, that's one of the partners in this.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Oh, I had no idea.
Lindsay told me she sells it. Okay, so we have the green sparkling water, the yellow vodka, and then we're going to add...
Yellow vodka. And by yellow vodka, we mean it's clear.
But it's labeled with a yellow label.
We're also I'm putting lemon and lime in mine, just to get real crazy here. While we are discussing how great the Packers are going to do.
See, it's a green and yellow.
We made up a cocktail. I think that while we're drinking this, we could go on and on about the Packers game, but you all should look on YouTube and check out my sweet crew neck sweatshirt.
Yeah, look at how great this
Vintage.
is. From like 1992?
It's from Goodwill. I don't know, but I wear it for most of the games because it's comfy and I can wear it with leggings.
There's one more lime there if you would like a little more lime.
Okay, great.
I figured we could do the lime in a 2-to-1 ratio to the lemons.
Wow, man. I don't know.
I'm into this.
My fingers are all sticky now.
Cheers.
Cheers. Go
Pack,
go. Big game, 2 o'clock. It's a weird start time, everybody. 2 o'clock on Sunday.
This isn't terrible.
Oh, I mean, it tastes like, I don't know. It tastes like me trying to be an adult when I stopped drinking vodka cranberry and was like, I'll just have vodka soda.
I heard some sad news, rumors, yes, that they possibly are stopping Red Bull Cranberry Edition. And we know that that is the best Red Bull to mix with your vodka.
No way, man. I love blueberry.
Oh,
Actually,
blueberry.
I don't love any Red Bull, but I like blueberry. Okay, while we're drinking this, I think we should talk about our great question.
Yes, we had some awesome listener feedback on the Facebook question this week. We were hanging out in the office talking about some like crappy job things because we're working on some interview questions of, like what to ask people to
when interviewing people.
And so we came up with what is the worst job you've had? And you said you had to stop reading some of these.
I did. Some of them were, I think I literally got like 3 in and I was like, I can't read these anymore. Nick just spilled all over you guys if you're not watching. Yeah, they were really gross. And I have to pull it up here because one of them was like about shoveling shit, right?
Colostomy bags.
Yeah, so I'm going to say shit. So, okay, did you pick a favorite?
I mean... Tammy Dickey cleaning up a broken colostomy bag twice in 2 different bathrooms at Great America 20 minutes into my shift on the 4th of July with the park at full capacity. In the stalls and middle of the floor where everybody walks. 2 bathrooms in 20 minutes. That's
disgusting.
That's really, Tammy, you win.
Tammy, yeah, I don't think we even need to read anymore, but we're going to tell you more.
My dad chimed in with he in high school was a custodian at Badger High School.
Oh my!
In the summers,
I know. I learned something about your dad.
Cleaning out the kitchen grease trap at the high school during my summer job, and this was in the 70s, so there's probably a lot more disgusting grease.
Yeah, I mean, I learned something new. Wait, do you have a worse job?
Yeah.
Okay, are we just gonna wait on that?
We can wait on that one.
Okay, fair enough. What is this? Someone shared about a mother's helper.
That's an old school thing. My grandma was a mother's helper. Is basically like a full-time living kind of babysitter / kitchen helper / cleaner. So it's basically a house servant.
Oh, okay. That's kind of what I thought.
That's what they called it, a mother's helper, and you were there to help the mother.
Who is this? Lizzie Detman. This was another good one. Working at Kmart back in high school, and yes, we're dating ourselves here talking about Kmart. A customer peed in a shoebox in the fitting room, but she didn't notice it until she pulled the shoebox out from under the bench. And listen up, Lizzie. I think that fitting rooms should be combined with bathrooms somehow because I always have to go to the bathroom when I'm in a fitting room, but I've never gone so far as to pee in a shoebox.
Vicky commented on that one that actually there's a couple comments on that one. Kathy said something like happened to her, but it was in a baby bathtub and infants. Vicky said an old man would go upstairs in the antique store on Milwaukee Avenue and pee in a flower pot.
Heard that. Oh my God.
Our friend John Elke, not quite as gross, but John's a very active guy. He's a photographer, news photographer. Now he does, like city stuff. So he's all over. All Action John.
Like this.
And he said, working at Kohl's, I would hide in the dressing rooms looking at Where's Waldo books. So I want to know how old John was. He was 22. I thought maybe you're like 13, John, and you're like, man, working sucks. I'm going to find Waldo.
Hey, Where's Waldo's a classic for a reason.
So, John, you got me last night. I was searching on Google to see if they had like free versions of it and like scanned the pictures. And I'm like, I want to find Waldo.
Oh, man, you need to read the actual book.
No,
Paper Waldo.
I'm probably going to pay for Waldo. You know, he's called Wally in England.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's originated in, Where's Wally?
I do.
That was more Australian.
I did love Stephanie Ann. I want to know more about this, but also I don't. I once got a job at a mink factory. I silently cried my way through the first shift and never went back. So my question is, what did you think they did at a mink factory? I want to know more about what job you thought you were going to be doing.
So what's your worst job, Bridget?
I actually had to think about this and not be annoying and saying I never had a bad job, because I have, but what I'm going to say is my worst because it was the grossest, but also I had so much fun. I used to work at the Lake Geneva Raceway. So do you remember the raceway? A racetrack, or I don't know what
I think it's Raceway, yep.
So my parents lived just down the road, and
Did you walk to work?
No, man, it was Bloomfield Road. You could get killed walking on Bloomfield Road.
Especially after a race.
Yeah, so, no, my parents would drop me off, and it was Friday and Saturday nights only, and I was always done, I think, by like 11, and all my friends worked there, but it was disgusting. We worked in the concession stand, so like, whatever. I remember the shirt like it was yesterday. It was a gray shirt with purple words on it, but by the end of our shift, we were always just like, my stomach, I remember, was always covered in like ketchup and mustard and grease and water, and because you're like doing the dishes and whatever. I don't remember actually what I did besides like hand people hot dogs, but I remember distinctly having ketchup and mustard and like water and grease on me all the time and just smelling disgusting. But it was fun because I worked with my friends and I was off at 11 o'clock, and like that was early those days when I was only 15, so I had the whole night ahead of me.
So early.
Can't imagine that now. What about you, man?
I miss some of the bad jobs at like Geneva Country Meats, like making pet food. People don't like doing liver. That never really bothered me. What got me was salting deer hides when I was a kid, and like 10, something like that. I don't know. So they're kind of heavy when you're a small kid, and
when you're 10,
people that shoot deer, and we used to do thousands of deer. We'd only do hundreds now, low hundreds. People would shoot their deer and want to keep the hide for, because again, America was different in the 90s.
The 90s.
People would be able to take that and get a free pair of gloves, and people would tanners would use that leather for various things that people wanted. Now synthetic leather is much more popular. Long story there.
Much less controversial.
Yeah. So people would want them all back. So we'd have to take them, lay them out, shake them out, make sure they're clean. And then you go and you rub salt on them, rub it in to preserve it so that it doesn't rot right away. Fold them up, put them in a box, stack them. And so it was like very heavy and very like deer hides would fall on you, which was gross. It smells terrible. And I always had to wear like a full plastic rain suit. And it's very hot back there.
Oh my God,
because it's this like contained little room. So because you didn't want to get ticks.
Oh my God.
So like it was like cutting weight for wrestling, but with like
so
terrible smell. And, yeah, it was not fun. And it wasn't like super, super disgusting. There's definitely much more disgusting jobs that happen at Lake Geneva Country Meats all the time. But I just hated that because like I was a kid. I didn't want to be there. I don't even think I got paid.
No way, man. You're 10.
I think I just got told to do it. And like it just
look at where you are now, Nick.
So that was not fun.
Wow, that sounds disgusting.
It was not great.
So that was a hilarious question. I loved the stories from this week. So
Thanks,
thank you
guys.
for everybody who wrote in.
So from that disgustiness, Bridget, what's the best
right
thing
on to food.
you were eating this week? Because you had some winners this week. You're doing a lot of cooking.
I know. I am. My sister gifted me a really great thing that I should have saved for Product Recs, but I'll make it my second Product Rec. She gave me this like. I know that I can just go on the internet and find recipes, everybody, but she gave me a kit. It is 12 weeks. It has all the recipes, all the grocery lists, everything. And the one she chose for me is all slow cookers, which is great because normally I work from home, so I can just like
right up your alley.
Throw it in right when I need to, and then the food is ready when my kids get home.
Oh, I thought it's because you don't cook a lot.
Also, yeah, I don't have to do a lot. But it really is great. And because otherwise one of us is always in the kitchen while the other one's trying to wrangle both crazy children, whatever. It's great. Great gift. So she got it at a place called passionatepennypincher.com. And I literally just pull the cart out, buy all those groceries on my grocery order. And I've been making slow cooker meals. Also, we have so many leftovers, so I was able to give some soup to my neighbor whose husband was in the hospital. So like that was really lovely. So anyway, one of the things that I ate that I loved is a breakfast casserole. Like super easy, right? But it was great because
did you have tater tots?
No, shredded hash browns.
Ooh, yummy.
So shredded hash browns, cheese, breakfast sausage, and I threw veggies in because then I really don't have to cook anything. That's like, here, kids, there's protein, there's carbs, there's veggies, everything. And like, they loved it. We all love it. And we had breakfast for dinner, which like made Elliot really excited.
Hashtag Brinner.
Brinner. So yeah, I just had a simple breakfast casserole for dinner. It was a very Wisconsin thing, but it was delicious. And I had it for breakfast again this morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had some delicious short rib tacos.
Tacos, of course.
I sous vide'd up some short ribs, cooked them for 25 hours at 180 degrees. They got very nice and tender, very delicious. I shredded them up, threw them in a frying pan with some onions and some tomato paste and some seasonings, crisped it up.
Here it goes.
And they were some delicious tacos. Some little cilantro and lime and pickled jalapeno, pickled red onions.
A love story to your tacos.
It was so good.
All right, man.
So it was kind of like a barbacoa style. I would highly recommend the short ribs if you want to do a shredded beef tacos. Very good.
And we're back to a whole bunch of recipes on our meal plan, which we'll mention a little later. So we've got a lot of good stuff coming up.
A lot of good stuff.
So lots of news this week.
Lots of news.
I, of course, shockingly had a hard time deciding. So I didn't go with any of the expected, like, inauguration things, because usually I do, and I feel like you judge me. So, you know, I went with something completely different that I saw.
I love all the surprises this week.
I know. Look at me. It's a new year, new me.
New year, new Bridget. I thought you hated that.
I do.
Oh, more surprises.
More surprises. Okay, so I have an article. I'm a Good Morning America watcher. That's the whatever. That's the morning show I like to watch as opposed to Today.
We're at Today. We're at Today House.
You're at Today House. So is my sister. But I'm a GMA person. So saw an article from them about a teacher that built thousands of desks for kids after seeing that they didn't have workspaces. So he is from Iowa, which I love a good story from the Midwest as well. And he just kept seeing that people on Zoom meetings were like sitting in their bed or sitting on the floor or even at their dining room table while they were in their virtual classes. And so he's like, if I can do anything, like I can build a very simple, and he says simple, but like these are some good looking desks. So I'm not a builder. I don't know, but this must have been expensive. And all the time, you know, he has a team of people that he, let's see, he's a literacy teacher. Like he's not even a woodworking teacher. I thought, oh, he must be a shop teacher or something. He teaches literacy. And then he calls the project Woodworking with a Purpose. So now he has more than 50 volunteers and they're building desks for people. So I think it's lovely. It's great. He paints really cool. Them. Like, he doesn't even just keep them like plain wood. He paints them fun colors and whatever. Really cool thing to see coming out of the fact that we're still virtually learning in some places.
My story comes from Tank's Good News, and they have a whole big post on Amanda Gorman, the inaugural poet, the youngest ever. First of all, she looked awesome.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure we're going to talk about that later.
We are.
I loved her energy. And somebody wants to talk about our Winterfest sausage shack. Not sure who that is.
What?
More on that later.
I was like, what?
But on Tank's Good News, they had some different facts about her. And one of the things I thought was most interesting, I'm not always into poetry. I am definitely not a poet, and I know it. I didn't always like love the content of the poem. I was like, I don't know. Oh. Like, because it seems sometimes it gets a little too.
Of the one she was reading?
Yeah, just like, I don't know. It was just a little too sometimes.
Oh my God,
like
I
poetry
love
in general. It's sometimes just like a little too out there for me. It's just not my thing.
What?
Always. It's not always my thing. But I loved the passion she brought and like how she delivered it. And it turns out she overcame a speech impediment.
Oh.
And it talks kind of through her journey about how she had a speech impediment and turned to writing as a way of expressing herself. Then she realized she wanted to be able to recite her poetry too and worked on that, kind of like King's Speech. Joe Biden had a speech impediment when he was a smaller child. Her books are now #1 and #2 on Amazon, which is awesome. So, people are just going to discover her more, which is awesome. There are some more fun facts about her. She was thinking about going to Mongolia to do this, but found out there were more cons than pros. I met her actually, and I said, "Hey, haven't we met before?" And she said, "No, we haven't."
Full of dad jokes.
Also, she enjoys nature. She likes to go for the occasional haiku.
Oh my God. And we're taking a break.
4 of them.
All right, we're back. And we were just talking about his really great jokes. I hope you guys were also talking about that while we were on break.
I hope you were laughing the entire time.
I do too, or trying to figure it out.
You didn't drive off the side of the road. You were laughing so
or
hard.
Were you thinking, did Nick actually meet her? No.
It was a metaphor joke because these poets make all these metaphors and just speak literally.
All good jokes are ones you have to explain.
Shut up, Bridget.
Okay. My product recommendation this week. So I was at my parents' house and my dad owns a business. So he got a gift from a company, a saran wrap, a heat wrapped plastic. What's that called? Gift basket, right? So he's opening
wrap.
There we go. Okay. Shrink wrap. And we're like, what's in here? What is this? Well, it was, it had some cheese and some crackers and some coffees and whatever, like a nice little food and beverage basket. Well, my dad is pretty picky about his coffee, so I am too. However, I'm all about trying something new. So he got this coffee from a company called Copper Cow Coffee. They had great branding. It was pretty simple, a little outline of a cow, but it's Vietnamese pour over coffee. So like I am picky about my coffee in that I know what kind of coffee I like from America. Not America. What we sell here. This coffee is not from America that I like. So anyway, my point is I don't know what Vietnamese pour over coffee tastes like. So I took one of the samples and they sell.
This is a big risk for you.
It was a big risk, but where I brought it to Country Meats because like no one drinks coffee there and I like need coffee again by 2 p.m. So I was sitting at my desk the other day. I was like, great time for coffee. All I need to do is go heat up some water and pour it over. So they have this like, like the cardboard coffee cups where you like fold out the handles. Mm-hmm. It reminds me of that. So it's a mini pour over. So it's like a little filter bag with handles that rest on the side of your coffee cup. And then you just pour hot water over it. So it's a different way of having coffee besides like a Keurig if you're looking for a single serve. And it was churro flavored. So it was like cinnamon coffee.
Ooh, cinnamon coffee.
Which I don't normally love either, but it was so good. Just like super smooth, super easy to do at a place that doesn't have a coffee maker. Like all you need is hot water. Sounds so simple, but I am loving this. Downside, not incredibly environmentally friendly, I'm sure, single-use coffee, but really good coffee if you're looking for like coffee on the go. If you're camping, I imagine this might be a good option.
That is a good idea.
So Copper Cow Coffee, I would highly suggest trying them. It looks like they have some crazy creamer, like single serve creamer packets. I don't drink creamer in my coffee, so I don't know, but I have some samples if you want them. So there we go. We'll make sure we link to it.
Check out this new cool pom-pom hat from Lake Geneva Country Meats.
Ooh, is this your product rec?
No, it's not, but you should get our merch. Merch at Lake Geneva Country Meats. Check it out. It's awesome. My product rec is a very practical one that I think everybody should do. My dad hooked us up with this, a portable tire inflator that runs off of a cigarette lighter in your car.
That is good.
And it has a little gauge on there, so it tells you what your PSI is. You don't need to do the, stick thing, psst.
My car tells me what it is.
Well, but if you're inflating it, it's not gonna. Are you gonna be like inflating, run to the front of your car?
Well, hopefully you have someone with you.
Well, but what if you're stranded all alone at night?
Okay, I love this. This is a great product rec.
So there's plenty of them. You can get them all over. We have one linked to Amazon that's very great. It's a thoughtful gift for a birthday, Christmas, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, National Tater Dot Day, whatever.
For St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
If your love language is showing people you care through practical things, this is a great way to do it.
Is that a love language?
I don't know. You're the love language expert. My love language is cheese.
Gifts, I think is. Gifts.
Yes, there we go. Gifts. So it's a great way to say, I love you. I want to make sure you're safe. Whatever. So yeah, we'll link to it. It's we use them. We've had an unfortunate streak of tire problems in our household. Yeah. So is Bridget.
Yeah, seriously.
So maybe for next year's bonus, I'll give her one of these.
Looking forward to it. Okay, guys.
Great product recommendations right there. We'll be back.
everybody. I'm starting the segment like that because it's time for my secret segment, which I've talked about now like 5 times already. So I'm really bad at keeping secrets.
Bridget's not so secret
Bridget's
segment.
not so secret segment.
It's like Mickey's not so scary Halloween at Disney World.
Yes, exactly like that. So we're going to talk inauguration fashion.
I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, so I'm glad you are because I wasn't sure. And let's put a caveat here. Like, we know how important the day was. It wasn't about the clothes, et cetera, et cetera. But it is fun. Fashion, as you can tell by my sweet crew neck, I've always been super interested in fashion.
First of all, Bernie Sanders won the day.
Okay, you're spoiling my countdown. I made a top 5. But okay, to be fair, when I wrote this top 5, I was on the phone with my sisters and I was like, you guys, I'm going to do a top 5 of Inauguration Day fashion on my podcast. And they're like, oh, great. Whatever. I'm like, for sure, number 1 is going to be Bernie. And
I love when he came out and you're just like, this is a man who gives no Fs.
Yes, but this was before, he was all over the internet.
I know.
Do you see there's a whole bunch of websites that are like, you can just put in, your location and plop Bernie there? There's one for Milwaukee. It's great. Anyway, so I have a top 5 starting with number 5 up to number 1, and they may not be popular, and I want to hear your opinion as we go here.
Okay.
So this was hard, but it was really hard to only pick 5, to be honest. And to note, this is only for inauguration.
Maybe if you're watching on
Capitol.
YouTube, I will take and put pictures of these people up on the YouTube.
Well, for sure, we're going to have pictures. I'm going to send them to you. No pressure. So this definitely is there was a really awesome outfit worn by Dr. Jill Biden at the COVID memorial. This is not, we're not talking about that because there's too many great outfits. So it's just during the inauguration.
On the podium.
Okay. So my number 5 might be controversial because I saw someone else post something and they hated on this outfit. Lady Gaga.
Oh, I loved it.
Okay.
When she started coming out and all you could see was the ridiculous
skirt.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, what the?
Same.
Come on, Gaga.
But what made the whole outfit?
The accessory.
The bird.
That was so cool. It was a dove with an olive branch.
And it was very much, so tons of symbolism like we talked about, right? So yes, it was a dove with an olive branch, but you also could say it looked a lot like Katniss Everdeen. So super funny. If you choose to go that route, either way, still symbolic. Very female power.
I like it.
So Gaga made my number 5, okay? Which shouldn't be surprising.
I like Gaga.
Number 4, Mina's whole family, okay? Well, I didn't love Mina's outfit. Auntie, Mina, she wrote the book Ambitious Girl.
Yep.
Auntie is Kamala Harris. So Mina's kids, so the 2 little adorable kids in the fur coats, the leopard print coats, and then her husband in the sweet kicks, which were super rare shoes. So her kids, though, so these are Kamala's great nieces. They were all over. They were the kids that were on the podium. I follow Mina on Instagram, so I follow their family a lot, and they these coats were meant to replicate a coat that Kamala wore as a kid. So it was really cool that they had this. They had some sweet boots on. They have really great fashionable Chelsea boots on, the kids. So anyway, loved Mina's whole family. Like I said, Mina had a green dress and some silver pointed boots on, which wasn't my total fave, but she wore a Coach coat. I know her green coat was a Coach coat. So anyway, I just think her family and her husband deserves some mention for hanging on to those girls all day because that's a long day for them.
Can I take a break and put some honorable mentions in here for Simona and Lucy?
Oh, yes, of course. They looked good.
They looked damn good. We put Simona in one of her cutest, newest purple dresses, some jeans, and some sweet Adidas kicks. Thank you very much, Bridget, because, we got to represent the sneaker game for Madame Vice President. Have some fierce color on,
but
little
she had
purple.
Stars too, right?
Yep, and some stars for America.
Yep.
So we felt very good about that outfit. And then, Madame Vice President wore the purple.
Yes. Lucy had pink, but she had a Madam Vice President shirt on that matched her mommy's Madam Vice President sweatshirt. So
it was a great day for females everywhere.
It really was. And it was cool. I feel I did not put Elliot in any kind of shirt that I forced him to wear because he's old enough to make decisions and didn't want to. But Lucy isn't, so.
I quizzed Elliot. I saw him yesterday as we're recording this, 3 days ago as you were listening to this, or maybe even longer. You could listen to this anytime. And I asked him, Elliot, what was the cool thing that happened on Tuesday? He said, we have a woman vice president.
Wednesday.
Whatever.
But same. Did he really say that?
Yeah, he did.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
And then he said he's so a Biden bro.
Yeah, I did, for the record, the shirt I was going to let him wear was going to say Biden bro. However, I'm not sure our public schools.
I think you should definitely have sent him to public school in that.
Yeah, well, I don't think our public schools would have been a huge fan of me doing that. But Lucy's only at daycare, and I know the director.
It's not disruptive. Tinker versus Des Moines says as long as it's not disruptive, you can wear it.
I mean, I imagine those kids can't all read, so they might not have known what the shirt said. So anyway, back to our regularly scheduled countdown.
Number 3.
3 on my list was Amanda Gorman. So we talked about this already. Man, I'm going to call it a headband, although she was wearing it more like a crown.
Yeah.
Like, but also her, so
I feel like there's some real cultural word for that I don't want to get wrong.
And I do agree. We just thought, again, I was discussing this with my sisters. It looked fly. Like it looked like a crown, and it looked like she,
E.T.'s calling it a headband.
Powerful. Yeah. And I'm sure it's not.
It looks like straight out of Wakanda.
But what you should note is her jewelry. So I read 2 conflicting things. Her ring is a birdcage ring, was gifted by Oprah to Amanda Gorman, which I thought was really interesting.
Very cool.
And it was meant to represent Maya Angelou. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, I also heard that Oprah gave her her earrings. She may have. I'm not sure about that.
Do you want to hear something cool?
Yeah.
When I was paging in D.C., Maya Angelou's office was right next to our school.
Really?
Like, we had a classroom and her office was right there in the same hallway.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you get to visit it? Damn.
She didn't show up.
So my number 2 would have been my number 1, but I had to put Bernie at number 1, spoiler alert. My number 2 is Ella Emhoff. So she was the one that had the really awesome, it's a Miu Miu coat.
Oh, I like that one, yeah.
And she had the embellished coat, so it's like brown plaid with embellishments. It turns out that she's a fashion designer, so that makes sense. Or she has something to do with fashion, or maybe she's in school still for it. I'm not sure. She lives in Brooklyn, I believe. But talk about an overlooked, the stepdaughter, so wouldn't normally get talked about much. And man, I dug that outfit. And on that note, I dug all of the very well-fitting jackets. There's a really good, the Home Edit put it out on their Instagram of all of the jackets, like the awesome rainbow colored jackets.
It reminded me, so my overwhelming things were I loved how much color the females were wearing and how much of a celebration it was and how much happiness and joy all the color did. As a man, it's always hard to go out of gray suit, navy suit, black suit. Personally, I always like to put a little color in a tie and a pocket square. That's a great way to do it. But, white dudes in the Senate, not their thing. Or you could do like a fun colored sweater. That's always a fun way to add a little color to your outfit tips from Nick as well. It reminded me of the article you shared earlier this year of the Polish members of parliament that wore the. Yep. And I also, quite honestly, loved how many people of color were up on the podium. It was great to see the diversity of America reflected up on the podium. I'm going to have to.
I know you're going to put the one that everyone is putting, and I have a comment about it. So go ahead.
Michelle Obama.
Yeah, Michelle Obama.
Girl.
Okay.
That belt, so first of all, she looked like pissed off.
Yes, that's why I didn't put her on the list.
I was like, I don't know.
Because a smile is your best accessory, Michelle.
But maybe she was smiling. You can't see with the mask.
No, you can.
Smile
you can
with
tell.
Your eyes.
You can tell.
But that belt, my God.
Yeah.
That needs an Instagram account. That thing.
There's already a meme that's like Michelle Obama's belt 2024. Or 20, whatever. Yeah.
I mean, that's something Chuck Norris would wear.
Yeah.
You could put some 6-shooters on there. I was just like, man, girl, you look good.
Girl. So, fun fact, because this was something else I was going to mention.
And her hair?
The same designer that did Michelle Obama's outfit did one of the pieces, at least, that Dr. Jill Biden, that Kamala was wearing. I'm sorry. That was a mistake of mine. So Kamala and Michelle had used the same designer, all 4. So Kamala and Doug and both Bidens all wore American designers, which I thought was really cool. Obviously important. And Kamala's designers were both African-American. So
did you see really awesome. Michelle's behind the scenes showing off her natural, very, very curly hair?
No.
Yeah. So this is her natural hair.
Oh.
She
should do that.
Yeah, super curly.
God, that's awesome.
And then I just read a thing that, because she did behind the scenes how she did all the stuff. And evidently her Arlington hairstylist.
Lots of articles about her hair.
is booked for the entire year now.
Oh, come on.
So if you're a hairstylist and you need to get some business, just do it for a former first lady. And I'm sure you'll be booked.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, it's what I thought was really interesting. Okay, well, we'll finish the countdown here real quick. Number 1 was Bernie. Okay, we have to acknowledge his audacity. He just didn't care. And if you haven't seen his outfit by now, like, crawl out of whatever rock you're under.
It would have been better if he had joggers on.
Would it? I don't know.
I think it would have.
The comment about the
like
manila
Lululemon
envelope,
joggers.
I mean, the comment of the manila envelope, like, do you have some? He carried a manila envelope under his arm, like when he was coming in, like
10:30.
I've got a
drop
meeting
off
to go
mail.
to.
11 o'clock. Joe's
Attend
thing.
inauguration. Yeah.
2 o'clock. Dinner.
Post office. Like, yeah. What are you doing after this? So that was really funny. I saw some.
You know,
joke
he was
about
probably
that.
circulating a petition to save some sort of manatee or something. Excuse me, I have a petition to save some manatees, and would you be able to sign it now that I have you here? Could you sign it, please?
Here. I did have my Michelle Obama, Jill Biden from the COVID memorial, and J-Lo on my honorable mentions list. It just, Michelle Obama was an obvious choice. So, you know, I just chose. I also have 2 other things to acknowledge, then we'll move on. The women in general looked really uncomfortable in their heels. And I blame that on 2020. Like, people have not had to wear heels. And just in general, they looked uncomfortable.
Well, and the Capitol is not a great heel location. There's a lot of marble. It's very slippery. There's a lot of cracks between them. It's not a great heel location.
Lots of stairs they're walking up. Like, if I'm walking downstairs in heels, I am holding on to my husband if there's not a handrail.
I was very upset that Kamala did not wear Tim's.
Oh, I know.
Like, very upset.
Yeah, when did it turn from Timberlands to Chuck Taylor's?
She could have worn either one. I mean, she did that for the Vogue cover.
I know, but the Timberlands to me are way cooler.
I think she should have. Like, I get it, a lot of pressure on you, but I think
gotta wear heels.
I think you should have done something different.
This is arguably the most important day of her life.
I would have been
maybe heels.
I would have been there for.
But like, black heels are relatively in. I would have gone that way.
I bet you could have got Timberland to do you some special
probably
black heels.
Michelle could have gotten some maroon ones.
Boom.
And lastly, the mask fashion was all over the place.
It was very all over.
It was really weird. I guess I thought they would have had, I don't know, like a uniform black mask or something, or navy blue maybe. That was just a funny.
I'm disappointed no one in the Wisconsin congressional delegation had a ridiculous badger one,
or cows,
where it's like the badger, like Bucky all up in your face. I'm disappointed about that.
The things we never thought we'd talk about with an inauguration.
All right.
So anyway, that was my special segment.
Great
Thanks
job.
for hanging in. It's just like the Oscars fashion.
So exciting.
And we're moving on. What is it? Uh-oh. I'm replacing this because I didn't come up with interesting questions.
On to meal plan.
You guys, this is my fault. I didn't do it. I thought it was next week, even though it very clearly says Bridget week.
Very clearly. And who could forget last week's very fun round of interesting questions by me?
And guys, I write these outlines, so I'm distracted, and I'll tell you why after we talk about Kid Corner. Yep. Okay. Anyway, meal plan. Like we mentioned earlier, we're going back to our regular scheduled meal plan.
Very exciting.
You know, we had the holidays, then we had a couple regulars, and then we had inauguration food. We're back, and this one's got a little bit of everything in it. I've got nothing
normal
much.
Food.
It is. It's normal food. Nick and I were like,
eat your normal food.
So I, of course, picked a one-pot meal because I'm on the slow cooker train, so I'm on the easy food train. So this is a spaghetti bolognese. Nothing exciting, but easy to make. And yeah, it's delicious. We had spaghetti the other night when our families hung out together, and it was great and wonderful, and I can make this easily, and I know my kids will eat it. And right now, that is the battle I'm living, is just like trying to get Elliot really to eat the food I'm making. That's it. So we're making spaghetti, okay? With broccoli, because my kids will eat broccoli.
Also known as trees.
So there we go.
Mine is a bourbon barbecue chicken wing recipe. It's a really fun seasoning. It's a little smoky, a little sweet, a little barbecue-y, a little spicy. It's game day. Have some chicken wings.
I'm scared to cook wings, so we also are posting how to cook wings along with the meal plan.
Wings are easy to cook. Also, you can, grill them if you like.
Scares me. It's like 10 degrees outside today, so
it is.
It's so
frigid cold. I walked out. I was like, oh, it's cold.
We've been spoiled.
I don't usually wear coats until it gets under like 20 degrees. And when I looked at the weather day, it wasn't supposed to be under 20 degrees. So I walked out just in this, which is like zip up and a quarter zip thing. And I was like,
It's freezing.
Huh.
Like where your legs are cold just from walking to your car.
Yep.
Yeah. If for those of you that aren't in Wisconsin, it's been in like the 30s, and that's toasty for us in the winter.
A lot of ice fishermen are pissed.
Oh, because it's been so warm?
Yep.
Ooh, bummer. Sorry about that.
Sorry, guys. You'll have to do your drinking and cavorting in some other shack.
Do it in your driveway. I don't know.
Or, actually, it's not time for that.
Okay.
Okay, but it is time for
Kid Corner. That's funny. Okay. All I could put on the outline for this was Lucy sitting style, and this is going to be a little exceptionally hard. No, it won't. I should post a picture, but I don't think I'm going to do that to her. So Lucy is 1.5, and she is at the age where she's starting. Like, she's usually really helpful. She will get a diaper, lay on the floor because we just change her on the floor now. It's easier. And like be like, here, change my diaper. But now she's like fighting us, and it's like flipping over. It's like a dead fish, and you're trying to like not a dead fish, a fish out of water.
Fish out of water, yes.
Where you're just like floundering, and she's flipping. You're trying to do anything you can to get a diaper on her. So sometimes I just like give her a minute and let her run around naked. Well, we were in her room last night getting ready for bed, and then we have this really lovely like it's from Opal House Target, if that gives you an idea of what it looks like. Kind of really pink and gold chair, and it's velvety, and I love it so much. Well, she sat on it with her naked butt, and I was like, you pee on this chair. I'm so mad. I love it so much. But, so like, we're in that phase, but also, I don't know. I hope she grows out of this, but she just sits like spread eagle. So she was like naked, sitting on this chair, just like spread. I feel so bad even talking about her like this, but yeah, just like, girlfriend, you can't sit like that when you get older. So hopefully she grows out of that, my poor little angel Lucy. But right now, not a delicate flower. So this is very fitting for her personality. And hopefully I can update you in 6 months and we don't do that anymore. That's all.
I'm sure it's just comfortable with
just a phase. I mean, she was airing out.
the chair.
But then I put a diaper on her and she went back to the chair. Same thing. That's the picture I have, is her with a diaper like spread out on this chair. Okay.
Maybe the chair's just comfy. The velvet's very comfortable on her legs.
I mean, honestly, I was like, this chair is very soft. This probably feels good on your little booty.
Mine, Simona run around more, little accident prone, little more. We got an accident report from daycare, and it simply said, Simona ran and fell into the high chair. Has welt on middle of head. Will bruise. And
that's awesome.
I was like, Sarah sent me, as she picked her up, she sent me another accident report because she had another thing earlier. And I was like, oh no, what happened? Did Lucy sit on her?
Did Lucy bite her?
What happened? And no, it was Simona was running and fell into the high chair.
Yeah.
And it was just very like,
whoops.
The accident report was just like very like phrases, not sentences.
To the business.
and like around home too. She's very much so now like crawling up on stuff and then flopping off like a fish out of water.
Wait, is she in the older classroom now?
She's still like
in between.
Yeah,
I wonder if when she goes in the older classroom, she's like trying to keep up with the kids, so
Probably.
she's like running and tripping.
Probably. So yeah, she's a little accident prone right now.
Oh,
She's got a few scratches. She likes to like lay down on wherever when she wants to go to bed, and that usually includes a vent. So the other day she just like went boom on one of the floor vents because she wanted to sleep on the cool air or the warm air or whatever it was at the time.
That's hilarious.
And she got the scratch, and it's like, well,
buddy,
you're fine.
Yeah, see,
just put a little dirt on it.
She's getting tougher.
Good job, monster.
Okay, you guys, we have an exciting announcement.
Exciting announcement.
So this is going to be announced. By the time you listen to this, it'll already have been announced. But today you are hearing it first. Just kidding, because we're saying it out loud for the first time officially.
We're speaking it into existence.
We're speaking it out. So
it's been a lot of anxiety, a lot of will it happen, won't it happen?
So much anxiety.
Some moving pieces, a lot of moving pieces. Bridget, this is your baby.
This is why I forgot interesting questions. We are opening a pop-up store for a limited time.
And what's it called?
The Sausage Shack.
Now with Wisconsin cheese.
So we got the opportunity to use a space on Main Street, downtown Lake Geneva. So if you're not from the area,
with our good friend Kevin Fleming, who appeared on the podcast earlier this year
in March,
and we recorded earlier this year because it's day 390 of 2020.
2020, like right before COVID.
Yep, right before COVID. Yeah. We had a Guinness with him and recorded in the back of the store that is now going to be a Lake Geneva Country Music Meets Pop-Up.
So it's been in, Kevin Fleming they've been in business at Fleming's for 46 years, I think it is. One of the longest existing stores in Lake Geneva, and they've decided to retire.
And they is Kevin and his wife, Maureen,
thank you.
who is the smartest woman I know because she learned to not she never wanted to open up the store, so she just didn't learn anything related to this procedure.
The alarm code. That was awesome. We learned that today. So they've been super, super gracious and gave us this opportunity. In Lake Geneva, we're very driven by the season, and so it's unlikely they would have anyone rent the space out until the summer, right before summer anyway. So we have a couple odd winter months to do some fun things. So Lake Geneva Winterfest is happening the first weekend in February. So we are opening for 4 days only, the Sausage Shack, not with Wisconsin cheese. And we're selling frozen brats. So in 8 of our special flavors, our specialty flavors, and our friends at Hill Valley Dairy, we are selling some of their delicious cheese.
Ron, I told you I was recording this as you were texting me.
Yeah, Ron, thanks for interrupting us, man.
You heard this. Somebody's texting me about the Sausage Shack.
That was you,
Ron. And so yes, if you've heard us talk about Ron, if you want to meet Ron, maybe Ron will be there.
Maybe guest appearance.
He's got one heck of a stash that you won't see because it'll be under a mask.
Mustache. We'll have some great merch. We talked about our merch a little bit.
Yes.
We'll have some really fun condiments, all from Wisconsin. So this is a very check out our Wisconsin product store. You're not going to find the same number of products, but it's a really fun way to introduce people to our brats, which people seem to love.
And if you want to know how sausage is made, we are going to have
a behind the scenes. We're going to have a little behind the scenes video and some really great photos. Great, interesting photos of how sausages are made. If you're like me and encased meat is weird, but it's going to be a fun little experience. So we're really excited for the opportunity. Check out, we'll have a post on our website about it. We will have a Facebook event.
Can we talk about the Valentine's Day thing that's coming up?
Sure, man. If you want, we got a lot of fun things
coming up.
There's
a Valentine's Day thing coming up. We'll tell you.
Tease it.
It's gonna be about love, and
love and bacon,
and then we're gonna have some really awesome dinners. So if you guys are in the area, want to do them, pop-up dinners, socially distanced, great quality food.
Yep.
It's a great way you can support some local restaurants that are innovating, finding new ways to make money as it's reduced capacity, harder, when people don't want to go out and eat as much.
But we do have 2,700 square feet, so please do know that the dinner tables are going to be spaced out. So we'll have 4 dinners. We have a really cool thing on Valentine's Day weekend that maybe we'll tell you about next week.
Maybe.
Yeah, so thanks for being excited for us. I know you're excited. We're excited, but it's been a lot. We are opening a second location in theory. We have to staff it. We have to tell our staff where to park and what to wear. We have to get all the products in the freezers and all the signage. So it's been a lot for the two of us to do. So
mostly for Bridget.
So I forgot interesting questions. Okay.
So sorry.
Sorry. Come buy some brats.
Come buy some brats. That's it for this week, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'd love to hear what you thought about the Inauguration apparel power rankings.
Was Bernie number 1 on your list?
We thank you, everybody that commented on the Facebook question. Make sure you're paying attention for that. We put it up sometime in the middle of the week. It's been a lot of fun to see what people are saying. If you have any fun question ideas, send them us hello@dinnerplusdrinks.com.
And always follow us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube so you can see my sweet sweatshirt.
So sweet.
Dinner Plus Drinks podcast.
Thanks, guys. Cheers. We'll see you soon.
Bye.